Hey you guys, it's Peter! And I'm back. Of course I'm back. I'm not going anywhere. I'm YouTube. I'm so YouTube famous now. And I'm in my car. Imagine that. Sitting in the Home Depot parking lot. I mean, if it's a Monday and you don't have anything to do and you're waiting for your husband to get off work, why not go to the Home Depot parking lot and make a video? So I thought I would. It's been such an interesting day. Like, it was so funny. I went back and I watched all of these old Betty Butterworth videos. Do you guys know who Betty Butterworth is? Oh my God. Betty Butterworth is a character that this guy used to do, and she's like this woman that like lives in a trailer and she smokes a bunch of cigarettes and she like goes and tries all these different churches in her town. My hat never looks like in person, it looks always straight, but like it never looks straight on camera. I can't wait to go to Ultra and get another hat this year. I'm not gonna get a pink one. But anyway, I think light blue maybe this time. Anyway, you guys will be like, what happened to the pink hat? What happened to the pink hat? Everybody's like, get rid of the pink hat. Somebody on my channel, it's so funny because I've seen them leave really nasty comments on other people's channels too. They always like say things about my sunglasses and my hat and all this kind of stuff, and they're always like telling me that I should dress. I mean, that's not very nice to say those kinds of things. I guess I do sometimes too though, so I understand it. But anyway, I mean, do you ever sit somewhere like at a restaurant and you're like, girl, look at that sweater she's got on over there? I mean, I do like a good Christmas sweater, but my Lord. Anyway, so it's been just a crazy day. I was watching all of Betty Butterworth's videos. If you haven't seen them, I will link one below. I love Betty Butterworth's videos so much. But I was thinking about, like, do you guys, okay, so if you're married or if you're in a relationship, and that can apply, video can apply to both, okay? I'm going to talk about marriage problems tonight, okay? Very serious marriage problems. Actually, what I'm going to talk about tonight is the real problems that exist in marriage, okay? Not the bullshit that you see on reality television with cheating, throwing drinks, and all that kind of stuff. I'm going to talk about, like, the real problems that exist in a marriage. So, if you're married or you've been together with somebody, Squid, hi, I see you. You will totally relate to what I'm talking about. And let me tell you how this conversation started tonight, right? I actually should just read you the text back and forth. My husband will be so through that I did this, but I don't really care. So my husband texted me. He gets off work here in just a little bit. And he said, what did he say? He said, what are you doing tonight, babe? And I said, no plans yet. Just got home working on some YouTube stuff. You? He said, nothing. I'm done at 8-ish and then back here and then home back here at 8. Want to grab a bite to eat and then watch a movie? And I said, sure. And then he said, sure. And then we said, sure. And then he said, sure. We go back and forth with these little things. I said, what do you want to eat? Or we could do a pizza and stay in and watch a movie. He goes, whatever you want, babe. That also sounds good. Blah, blah, blah. I got us toothpaste today just so I wouldn't because we both knew that we needed toothpaste. I said, pizza sounds good. I got to run out and do a few things. But if you want to do that, fine. I said, what do you want? And he goes, okay, perfect. Cheese pizza, duh. My husband only eats cheese pizza, okay? And whenever we go somewhere and get pizza, if we go to Puccini's, I always get pasta and he gets pizza. And he always goes, I'll have a large cheese pizza. And it always reminds me of that scene from Home Alone where Macaulay Culkin's like, one large cheese pizza, all for myself. It reminds me of that every single time, right? And I said, no, you can get the pizza, LOL. And he goes, oh, you want me to get it? And I said, yeah, I was going to go and get the 2 liters of pop, LOL. And he said, okay. And then I said, okay. And then I said, let's just go somewhere, then I won't have to pick it up. And then he said, LOL, okay, because picking up pizza is really that hard. You pick where we should go. And I said, we can get pizza unless you want to go to Champs and get nachos. And he goes, whatever. He goes, we can share a Mile High. We have now, okay, we get Mile High nachos because they're this big. We have now slanged Mile High nachos we used to call it just nachos. Now we just call them Mile Highs. We can share a Mile High since we always both leave so much because we don't eat the whole thing. And I said, we can do whatever you prefer, babe. Pizza does sound good. I said, but so does Champs, LOL. I said, or we could just get Burger King. Have you guys seen that my diet has completely gone at this point, okay? But it is my cheat day. He goes, LOL, you just pick. I'm too busy still, so just tell me where I need to be when I'm done here. I said, okay, when I leave here, I'll let you know. And then, like, I seriously, like, I went around the house and I was like, what sounds good to me? pizza, champs, nachos, Mile Highs. What sounds good to me? And then I was like, oh, fuck it, Cheesecake Factory. So I texted him and I said, cheesecake, just let me know when you're done. He said, okay, sexy, I'll text your sweet nips when I'm done. I said, okay. And what's so funny about this is that probably our biggest fight that we ever get into is, where are we going to eat tonight? Like, do you guys, if you're married or in a relationship, do you have this fight? Like, I mean, we seriously get into this. I mean, I would never say that it escalates to like a fight, but like, it is like a big argument, like especially on Sundays, because we typically go to Cafe Patachou in Indianapolis, which is, we went there yesterday and I like tweeted out pictures of it and stuff like that. It's hands down my favorite brunch restaurant in Indianapolis. I love it. And it's just like so fun. And it was funny because I was like waiting for the bathroom and I was reading this article that they had written about. I mean, it always gets like 1,000 awards, right? There's like 6 of them in Indianapolis, and this woman here started it. And it's just, if you're ever in Indianapolis, go to Cafe Patachou. It's open from like 6 to 3 p.m. It's like the coolest restaurant in the world. But anyway, I was reading this article, and it was by the like the owner. They were like interviewing her, and they quoted her in there, and she said it was like, oh, what's that called? Like the college, like hangout, but for adults. So, and that's how it feels. Like when you go there, it's like a bunch of adults. Like, you know, when you go and you're like in college and there's like in like a dorm room, there's like the hangout area or whatever. That's what it feels like, but for adults. I can't explain it. So anyway, and actually if you watch Gabe Babe TV, they also go there. I've seen them there before. I saw them there and I was like, I know them somehow. And, so anyway, but, yeah, we argue about that. Like on Sundays, if we don't get up in time to go to Cafe Patachou because they close at 3, and if we get up at like, we sleep in on Sundays, okay? And I mean sleeping in like 1:32. Well, Alex would say he doesn't. He gets up. My beard is driving me crazy, you guys, today. I want one of those big mustaches. What do you think about that? So anyway, wouldn't that be so funny? And I would just pet it like this. What's your pet's name? Stashy. Oh, Stassi. The Vanderpump Rules. Can't stand her. Anyway, I do like Jax though, and I do think that Jax is cute. But anyway, so we'll like get up, and then he'll be like, well, what do you want? We can't go to Patachou now. And I'll go, I don't care, what do you want, pizza? Oh, I'm not hungry for pizza, we just had pizza 2 nights ago. And I'll go, well, what about pasta? No, I'm not really feeling pasta either, what do you want? And then I'm like, well, I think like a cheeseburger sounds good. And then he goes, oh, okay, well, I could have a cheeseburger, I guess. Where could we go that we could also get chicken fingers? I mean, this conversation goes on for hours. Do you guys do this in your marriage? Kill a beast, right, with this conversation. And then the other conversation is that, like, I will get up, our trash goes out on Thursdays, and I will get up and notice that, like, on Thursday mornings, I'll get up at, like, 9:30 or 10, and the trash is already come and gone, and I'll be like, damn it, Alex is supposed to do the trash, because, like, 6 years ago, we agreed on, like, this exchange of chores in the house, which is so stupid. We don't even do it anymore. It was like, okay, I'll do the wash, you do the trash, or something like that. I don't know. He unloads the dishwasher more than I do, and I do the trash sometimes. But it's like, do you guys like ever argue over something like that? And then I'll be like pissed at him all day long. I'll be like, blah, 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 blah. I mean, I never say this to him, but I script the conversation in my, head. Like, and I do everything, and you don't even take out the fucking trash. When he comes home from working like a 12-hour day, and he like takes the dogs out and like empties the dishwasher, and I'm like on the computer doing YouTube stuff. I mean, the famous life of a YouTuber, right? Do you guys argue over stupid stuff like that? Okay, here's another huge argument, and this is funny because this happens to both Alex and I. Do you ever have a dream when you're sleeping and you're like, the other person cheated on you, or the other person like did something, like left you or fought, and you wake up and you're still pissed at them? This happens to us, you guys, like, I mean, probably once every 6 months. And it's just like the other person cannot get out of the foulest mood in the world. Isn't that so funny? It is so funny. And I was watching, actually, I'm going to give these guys out a shout because I'm reading one of Jonathan's book. Excuse me. I have had hiccups all day long because of this damn coffee. Husband and Husband. I love this channel, okay? And they're a gay couple and they've been together for 10 years. And they did this video and they were talking about, like, the 7-year itch in a marriage. And they were like, it's really funny because it's really not the 7th year. Who keeps on texting me? It's really not the 7th year. It's really the 3rd year. And I was like, oh my, it's so true, you guys. If you can make it through your 3rd year of marriage or a relationship, easy breezy, okay? So much shit happened in our relationship the first 3 years. And I will never forget when we got married. I was friends with this guy that was like in his 70s. And he had like, he's been married for like 55 years. And I said to him, I said, Yeah, because he got married when he was 20, so he's like 76. I said, give me a piece of advice. I said, what's the one piece of advice about marriage? And he said, divorce is not an option. And he said, if you go into a marriage knowing that divorce is not an option and that you will work through whatever you possibly can, then whatever happens, you guys can work through it. And let me just tell you, that piece of advice has been absolute gold in our marriage. I mean, like, we have worked through so much shit. And I remember, like, we were going through a really dark time in our relationship, and Alex was really wanting to move. I really didn't know what to do with my practice at that point, because I wasn't like, I can just upload and move. And I mean, I don't have a job where like I can move tomorrow to like LA, right? And say, okay, closing down shop. I mean, like, my salary would be gone tomorrow. I would have to go work for some organization, and I really don't want to do that again. So like, and at the time, Alex was young and he had just finished school and he didn't understand that. And so like, oh, that was another thing. I will talk about that in just a second, when he was in school. So when Alex, well, I'll just say it right now. When Alex was in the last 2 years of his college, I was in the last 2 years of my career, like, where I had decided that by the time that I was 40, I was going to be semi-retired. Like, that was a choice that I had made. And that I wanted to start doing more creative ventures, like writing my book full-time and things like that. And luckily, that's really worked out for me. But to be married to somebody and they're in their like beginning stages of building a career, and I'm at the end stages of my career, is like really tough, right? Because I'm just like to sit there and be like completely patient, right? When he's like, well, I'm doing this internship now, and so I'm going to be gone this many times. I'm like, okay. And I'm so supportive of him. And when I started working in the field that I'm in, like, I literally worked with internships and jobs and everything. I was working literally 60 to 80 hours a week. I mean, I really, after I got sober, I was like, I have a long-term plan for what I want my life to look like, which I really think no matter what age you are, you should look at it that way. And Alex is very, very driven. He's the same way. And so he really wants to work for PR agencies, and now he started his own business on the side and all that kind of stuff. And so I have to be really supportive of that, but we're at two different places, like, in our career lives, and so it's really difficult. And we don't fight over that, we fight over time, which is why we try, like, so many people are like, you guys go out to eat a lot. Well, we try to spend, like, a lot of time, like, I think we're gonna do a video where we cook a meal together, which I think would be hilarious, because neither one of us like to cook. We both, actually, we both loathe it. So I think for us to make a meal would be, don't you think that would be so funny if I did a vlog of us making a meal? Wouldn't that be so cute? So anyway, I mean, when you say your own content is cute, that's kind of arrogant, don't you think, Peter? But I do think it's a cute idea, because, like, I mean, we just don't cook, right? And so, oh, here's another argument, all right? Are you ready? An aside? Like, see if you guys relate to any of these, okay? Alex likes getting into a messy bed. I like getting into, like, a marine-made bed. I like my bed to look like it's a hotel-made bed, right? And I've talked about that on here before. But Alex likes it messy. And in fact, like, if he comes into the bedroom, the first thing he does is he, like, messes it all up so that he can, like, get... I'm like, the bed looks... But I don't really care, because I just want the bed to look nice all day long. So when I'm there and Pee-Pee is, like, sleeping on the bed, he's so sweet, Pee-Pee. But anyway, like, you know, it's just real comfortable. Pee-Pee likes the bed I'm made, too, because then he can, like, go in and make caves and all that kind of stuff. But anyway, I think that some things that are really important in a marriage are having similar long-term goals. I don't think the short-term goals really matter. I really don't. But, like, the similar long-term goals, like where you want to live, where you want to be. Do you want to have kids? The kids one is a big deal. Like, Alex and I both knew that we did not want children, but I think that would have been a deal breaker, especially in his position, because he didn't want kids. I love my nephews so much. I have 2 nephews. I adore them. I am a great uncle. I know that, because I'll tell you why. At the end of the day, I can give them back. I don't know. Like, I love them. I love watching movies with them and playing with them, and, you know, playing games with them. And my nephew Litos is now at an age where you can have, like, real conversations with him, and it's so fun. I love it. But, like, I would not be a good parent. Like, my brother-in-law and sister-in-law look tired all the time. How do you guys have relationships where you're sitting there talking about what you're gonna eat, and then you have to involve this child? I don't understand it. Like, I couldn't do it. God love my parents. But anyway, the other thing is, it's so funny, is like when we go out to restaurants, Alex and I have very little tolerance for people who allow their children to just go crazy in restaurants, because both of us were raised that if you go out to a restaurant, you act completely polite. My dad used to say to me, like, if I would act up or get, like, I can remember one time I got underneath the table and my dad said, get your ass up from underneath that table. He goes, if you don't sit in that chair and behave, and my dad never talked to me this way. He's like, if you don't sit in that chair and behave, we're never coming to a restaurant again. And that scared the hell out of me, because I like restaurants, as you know. So anyway, but I just think all this stuff is interesting in relationships. You know, it's not the really difficult stuff. Like, I'll tell you another one, since it's the holidays. Whose family do you spend with for Christmas, right? It's like, so my family's Christmas, we're going out to a restaurant at 5 o'clock on Christmas Eve. Well, we have to be at Alex's aunt's house at 8 o'clock on Christmas Eve, and then that goes until, who knows, 5 o'clock in the morning. Venezuelans like to party it up, let me just tell you, Christmas. I love it. I love the whole culture for Christmas, and I just love the whole culture anyway. But then on Christmas Day, we have to be at his mom's house early, and we have to be at my aunt's house, or my cousin's house at like 2. And it's like, how do you work all that shit out? And thank God, it's like, I don't typically see we do something with my dad and my stepmom like after Christmas. But I can't imagine if my mom was alive and all these people, I mean, how would we ever arrange it? Like, it's crazy because we really only have like 2 families to do it with. And I know a lot of families fight over it. They're like, oh, we did your family last year and we're doing my family this year. I mean, it's like stuff like that people don't talk about. Like when you were like, you know, till death do us part. You don't talk about that stuff. You don't say until death do us part unless we can't figure out what restaurant we're going to go to tonight, which is crazy. But that's the shit that drives you crazy, right? Or like, what's another one? Like going to a wedding. Like, are we going to go or are we not going to go, right? Or like, are we going to go to this baby shower or are we not going to go to this baby shower? Like, those are the things that like drive you crazy in a marriage. What else? Oh, like right now, Alex is like, because our dogs are barkers, right? So whenever he walks in the door, and whenever I come in the door, whatever, the dogs go, whoa! He's always like, we're never getting any more animals after these dogs go. I'm like, oh my God, no more animals. And then like an hour later, he's like, no, babe, we can get as many dogs as you want. I'm like, okay, another one right now. He's like, no, 3 is enough. We only need 3 dogs. Like, you guys, this is what's so funny, okay? Is that when people pick apart a marriage, like when people come for me and they say like, oh, you have marital problems. No, we don't. Like, we really don't. It's that kind of shit, right? And do you guys relate to that? Like, if you're in a marriage, you're sitting there going, yes, I mean, we don't fight about money. We don't fight about jealousy. We don't fight about any of that kind of stuff. Trust is not an issue in our relationship. We don't fight about money. You know, we consult each other about that. All that stuff is completely worked out. It's that little stuff that can like wedge into a marriage. And then before you know it, you stop having the fight and the fight is having you. So we're really good about, at the end of the day, kissing, making up, and going like, listen, it really wasn't that big of a deal. And by the time we get to the restaurant, we're having so much fun anyway because we love to eat. So anyway, I hope you guys relate to some of that. Let me know if you guys have marital problems below and if you relate to any of those. Follow me on all my social media, and I love you guys. Talk to you later. Bye.